Whoops. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Chaos Before Cosmos. If you guys are new here, my name's Kerry. If you've been here before, what up, homies, OGs, Soul Tribe, whatever you wanna refer to yourself as. Today I'm calling you all Leos. All right, let me just make sure all my settings are good to go before we get started with our Leo live stream for our Capricorn season reading. All right. Gala, Mystical, Amber. Cool. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, we're getting here. We're getting here, guys. We're getting there. I don't know. Yes, I don't know why I don't do this before I start my streams, but it is what it is, right? I like to get it all. I like to get it all perfected when we get in here, right? So, I think we're all good. I think we're all good. I think we're all good. There we go. All right. All right, Leo. Let's get into the daily jazz and then we'll go through what we're going to be doing for this reading. Actually, let me just do a little bit of a sage. This is one of the smudge sticks that I made, so should burn really, really nicely and compared to some of the ones that I buy usually. Like they just usually, like sometimes you just wish they were just a little bit looser so that the airflow could get through them and you could get a bit more burn in them. Is it just me, or is anybody else like that? Like, I'd like it just to be a little bit easier to get the airflow through and to like get it lighted, to start it up. So, but yeah, I definitely prefer the ones that I make than the ones that I buy. So, my nose is starting to run today as well. So, I don't know if anyone's like me, like when you start like running around and moving around a lot, and all of a sudden you get a bit of a runny nose. All right, Leo, let's get into the daily jazz, and we'll talk about how Capricorn season could potentially be impacting you guys, how you can best utilize the Capricorn energy. We're going to have a look at a few different areas of life and see what's sort of possibly or potentially coming in, any potential challenges, things like that, advice, and we'll see what comes out. So, after this live, I've got another one scheduled for mini reads, chats, chills, and I might go through and open. Where is it actually? Where have I put it? Oh, right here. So I might actually go through and open up the Mythos Tarot in that next live stream as well. So I've been pretty keen to use this. It's a tarot deck based on the Greek gods, so definitely my jam. And I can't be bothered doing a whole unboxing video, so I think we'll just do it. We'll just kick it and chill. All right, Leo, let's get through the daily jazz of the energy of today. Obviously, where I'm at will be different to some of you guys and the rest of the world, but it's the 22nd of December 2025, number 439, number 16, number 7. Today being Monday, which is ruled by the moon, Cancer energy, sun and moon, Capricorn, moon transitioning from Capricorn through to Aquarius. So, Leo, this is definitely a period or a chance for you guys to turn your creativity or your creative endeavors into long-term goals, right? So, those of you that are, again, ready to push yourselves, ready to really take things to the next level. Capricorn season will be a really, really good time to do that, right? And utilize the energy that's present and around at the moment. It's a period where basically you're basically auditing your life and looking at what needs restructured, along with whooping of one's own ass, right? So a little bit of self-ass whooping never hurt anybody, and it's definitely going to help, especially for those of you guys that have got, some big goals, things that you want to achieve over the next few years, right? So some of you guys might be seeing 616, but the angel number for this reading was 616. This is about maintaining a positive mindset and balance between work and your personal life to make sure that you're able to well, a few things. You don't want to burn out, so self-care is going to be really important, but you again as well, you don't want to be overindulging or like not putting in the focus that you need to on the aspects of life that actually need a bit more attention. So just it's about structure, right? Balance, routines, things like that at the moment, right? So that's what's going to be absolutely that's what's going to be thanks, Mystical. That's what's going to be handy for you guys to focus on. So this is a time where you guys should be thinking about, what your goals are, but also not just thinking about them, actually setting up what clear goals you've got, right? So, being very, very accurate, descriptive, decisive on what it is that you're trying to achieve. With whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever goals you've got, breaking those projects or those tasks down into smaller tasks so that, again, the tasks don't become overwhelming, so that you can balance it out between, that and your personal life and your other responsibilities, and so that you can stay focused, right? So again, it's if you break things down and do it in increments, it will be, again, a lot easier to kind of maintain the energy that you're putting into it, right? So balance is definitely going to be key here. It's also a time to really look at your routines. Okay, so again, structure. You could look at maybe scheduling, right? So if you guys are a bit of procrastinators, right? Procrastination's definitely look, it's fine, right? But if you've got goals that you're trying to achieve, then obviously we know procrastination can be pretty counterproductive to those goals and dreams. So, things like looking up, and you can get all this shit online, right? Schedules, so like daily schedules where you've got time blocks and things like that. So, keeping yourself accountable, also making sure though that you're scheduling time for self-care and all the other shit that you need to do as well, right? The other thing is, the main thing is, I suppose, once you've sort of established all those, is to be consistent in then implementing all of that. Okay, so consistency is what's going to build that success over time. All right, but it's not Capricorn season is, and it's hard, especially for Leo, right? When Leo's very much in that sort of creative, passionate type energy. Sometimes Leos, we like to, as fixed as we are, we can often also be a little bit spontaneous and a little bit struggle sometimes with that structure and stuff, especially if you guys are creative. We would like to sort of color outside the lines from time to time. So but definitely a good time to practice some new skills or implement some new skills here, especially for those of you that are looking to turn your creative passions into long-term goals and potentially careers, right? And if there's any sort of abundance attached to these things, then obviously, you want to be putting in effort because it's going to lead to the success that you want. So the placements, or the Leo placements, that are going to be affected most throughout Capricorn season, starting with number 1. So most affected is actually going to be if you got Leo as your rising sign, right? So Leo rising, you guys are going to be impacted most by the challenges that Capricorn season brings. Second, coming in as Leo sun sign. Then thirdly, Leo in the moon. Fourth, if you've got Leo in your midhaven. 5, Leo in Venus. All right, so they're going to be the areas where potentially Leos are going to find it a little bit more challenging. So for some of you guys, if you've got Leo in a lot of placements, buckle up, babies, brace yourselves. It's going to be challenging, okay? But with the challenge, this challenge also brings, again, a lot of growth, right? A lot of stability, and it's something that over time, if you implement it quite quite early in Capricorn season. By the end of it, think about it, you will have formed some really good habits, right? Really good, routines and things like that, where you're able to be productive and able to get the best out of your days. So we're going to look for you, Leo, and we're going to pull cards today for you guys, looking at your second house. So what's coming in when it comes to your money, security, possessions, and the things that you value. So we're going to look at what's potentially coming in, what are potential blocks some of you guys might face, and any advice Spirit has to navigate through it. We'll look at your sixth house, which will show us what's going to be happening in, your day-to-day routines, your work habits, jobs, things like that, what needs to be addressed, how we're going to navigate that. We're also going to look at 10th house, being 10th house is Capricorn rules the 10th house. Career, public legacy, public image, legacy, right? I'm like, public legacy. Some of you guys could be going for public legacy. 10:44 on the clock. Leos, right? Seeing as we are doing a Leo live, if you guys haven't already, please go subscribe to Fiery Falcon Tarot, right? We read differently, but she's amazing. She's very accurate, right? Picks up on a lot of definitely a lot of the shit that I'm going through, which is, a few of us felt called out, I think, on your last live stream, but all good, babe. All good. So yeah, we'll go through your 10th house, what's coming in, potential challenges, what advice, and then we'll combine your 5th and 7th house. So romance, partnerships. I know you guys sometimes like to, see what's coming in on the new boo front, but we're also going to look at for those of you guys that are in relationships, what could be coming up for you guys in your current relationships, and what's coming up for you guys if you're single. All right, so we've got a bit to get through. We're not going to spend like a whole fuck ton of time on it, right? You get the overall gist of what Capricorn season's all about, baby. It's about the hustle and grind, right? It's about the hustle and grind. So again, Capricorn season is definitely ain't here to flirt with you, Leo, right? Capricorn season is not it's not a flirtatious, playful energy. It's very much a practical, disciplined, grounded, and stable kind of energy. So, it's if you guys again really want to have some growth, okay, then what we've talked about already is again going to be quite valuable, right, if you start implementing these things. Alrighty. Now, so for some of you as well, I'm getting just with the energy of the number 7. So there could be as well opportunities for collaborations, right? Partnering up and collaborating with other individuals on work projects and things like that. So again, be open to new opportunities as well, Leo. Anything and everything, right? Well, not anything and everything, but be open, be ready to jump into getting new projects, new partnerships, new whatever's, right? Just but again, you're going to need to have that discipline, that structure in order to make the most of it. All right, so let's go through first. We're going to look at your second house. We're going to look at potentially what's coming in for you guys in your second house. Okay, so now, as I always say, guys, remember, depending on where you are on your timeline, well, depending on if these messages are even going to resonate for you or be something that is, potentially coming in for you guys. So try to remember where you're at in life, okay, that you're not all going to be on the timeline that this reading comes out for. But if you're not, obviously, you know that it's just a matter of taking or implementing certain things to get there, right? It's all about just leveling up to the next level before you can get to that part of the timeline. So everything is available for you, Leo, in what we get in these reads. All of this is available to you, but you've got to be taking action. You've got to be doing the work, putting in the work, okay? Actually doing it, not just, doing bits of it and then expecting and then, getting disheartened as to why things haven't fully manifested for you. So, all right, Leo, let's have a look with your second house here for Capricorn season. What do we got here, Spirit, for my Leos here, babies? Work smart, okay? So, again, this is about, being organized here, okay? Discipline, structure, okay? And it's, for some of you guys, it could be a challenge, right? Especially, like I said, if you procrastinate, and for some of you guys, you could have mental health issues, things like that impact your ability to focus, right? So, and I want to say it like this, like it's not to take away from anyone that's got anything, but let's not try to give ourselves or make excuses for ourselves as well, Leo. There are plenty of resources, tools, little tips and tricks that you guys can find, and implement, like, to help you to stay on top of shit, right? So if you are somebody who gets distracted, maybe a schedule, a time scheduled day would work good, but maybe it would be better if potentially, like, you set alarms on your phone. So, it's extra alerts, right? So again, be prepared to, again, audit what's happening in life right now, restructure everything so that you can really have all your, like, I don't know, I don't even know what word to use, but just, so you can have, like, everything flow a lot easier, right? It's always easier if you've got structure and you've got routine, you know what you're doing, okay? It's not to say don't be flexible, right? It's not about being inflexible or being so rigid, but it's just about, creating some sort of structure in which you can keep yourself accountable to the goals that you're trying to achieve. Okay. All right. So yeah, there could be some changes that are taking place, Leo, for you guys with your finances, right? Again, the more that you discipline yourself, the more that you push yourself, the more that you commit yourself to what it is that you're building, the more your finances and the things that you have as far as possessions going to change. Now, the other thing I want to say is, for some of you guys, there could also be a need to change your spending habits, okay? So work with your money smarter, right? So it could be things like that. Whereas, for some of you guys, it's about, like, just actually physically working smarter to boost your income. For some of you guys, it could be about working smarter with the money or the income, and things like that you already have to get the best out of your situation, okay? So for some of you guys, you might need to audit your budget, right? And get a bit more structured with that. So yeah, we've got caution here. So, just again, like, take care with the decisions that you make, right? Be cautious of what it is that you're spending your money on. Okay, if you guys are, again, still in those sort of timelines, those areas where you're spending money on shit, unnecessary shit, you're not. Okay, let's wind that back a minute, right? So if you've got no problems with your finances, you can buy all the unnecessary shit you want. That's your prerogative, okay? But for those of you that are having issues when it comes to your finances, or you're trying to manifest more, you're trying to heal your relationship with money and things like that, it is going to be very important that you don't spend your money and waste your money on shit that is bad for you, okay? Because what that's going to tell Spirit is, Spirit, I can't be trusted with my abundance. Therefore, I need you to be my bank account and slow that shit down, because I will probably blow it on sex, drugs, and prostitutes. You get what I'm saying, Leo, right? So, again, if that's the area where you need to put more discipline in the way you spend, Capricorn season is definitely the time to do it, all right? So just be careful with how you're spending. There could be, for somebody as well, again, if you guys have already been really working hard on certain things, there could be things that you guys have done in the past where things are going to start to really pick up and pay off for you guys here in Cappy season. All right. So, it could also be as well, you could have some old projects, right, that you decide that maybe you didn't finish, or you could have things, ideas from the past that come back up that you might you might want to start working on or working towards, okay? But just make sure you're not spending more than you're earning. Stress when you overspend. Stress when I spend, overthink. You have trauma with money. Well, you're going to have to figure out a way, whatever tools you need to work through it. Because otherwise it's going to constantly slow down the ability to create that abundance, right? Either by you blocking it because of your own ways of thinking, or because of the the actions, the choices that you make, right? So, yeah, there could be things, again, ideas from the past that are coming back up that you might want to, again, have a look over, implement into, and implement into the process. So, again, guys, I know for Leos, it's very, very hard as well sometimes to be so, it's like, think about it like this, Leo energy walks into a relationship or a marriage, right, ready for like passion, love, and, tousled fucking bed hair, and Capricorn walks in with a fucking prenup. You get what I'm saying? It's the difference in the energies like that where, Leo, you could kind of struggle with that whole, I want to say it's almost like methodical, right? Like a methodical process. It could feel like you're a little bit of a like a production worker, right? But the discipline will help, right? It'll help you for the long term. So try to really give yourself that push, all right? So if some of you guys, you could be, again, creating something, designing something, okay, getting ready to also launch something. All right, so let's have a look, Leo. What are going to be some of the potential blocks or challenges that are going to be stopping some of you guys from that? Now, for some of you guys, this is going to be something that I don't want to say you find easy, right? But you could have already started, working on these sorts of things, and you could already be sort of well on your way. But again, could be time to look back and just see, is there things I can tighten up on? Is there processes I can do better to get more out of my day and to also get more balance, right? It's not just about doing more. It's also about the maintaining of balance, right? So by no means is Spirit telling you that through Cappy season you're meant to be a freaking, a 12-hour a day slave laborer, to get it, right? To get to where you need to be. It's about more so putting in the work to how you discipline yourself to navigate through the challenges, all right? So I don't know why I've got a straw in this cup. Like, this straw is so inappropriately sized for it. Sorry. You know what's funny, right? So I was drinking my coffee before as well. And when you say to yourself, oh, I better not walk with my coffee cup because I'm bound to like drop the coffee on me. So I drank most of it, and then I got almost to the kitchen. There was still like a touch left, and I went to go drink. What did I do? Fucking spilt the coffee on me, right? It's like I knew I should have just put that thing straight in the sink, knowing that I was going to. And I had another white top on at the time, so I was just like, yeah, what's going to be my luck? Obviously dropping this coffee on me. And I did exactly freaking that. And then I said the same thing about that straw when I got it out of the cutlery drawer. I was just like, oh, this straw's going to be annoying. And of course I was right. I should have just, twice today I've ignored my intuition. So, Leo, that could be a message for you guys as well. Maybe, there could be issues with you potentially ignoring your intuition with what's happening here in your second house during Capricorn season. So that could be a bit of a challenge where, you just not paying attention to what's going on, right? Well, I mean, you probably should get off the couch and go to bed if you've got to go to work, Joanne. I mean, you don't have to. It's completely up to you, of course. But I mean, that's just my personal opinion, all right? Like having being well rested. I mean, especially if you don't work for yourself, right? You're not the boss, and you can't just call in sick and have a day off. I would hate to work for somebody else and go there and be freaking tired and just want to sit there and like cutlery. Yeah, that's what we call it here. What do you guys call it? We call it cutlery, right? This is the cutlery drawer. What else would we call it? What else would we call it, Amber? But yeah, if you obviously if you guys are self-employed, it's a bit different. But even then, being self-employed sometimes is even harder to keep yourself disciplined and like actually doing what you need to. All right, Leo, let's have a look. What are your potential blockages or challenges here? Yeah, okay. So again, not maybe maintaining balance or being able to maintain balance. So this could also be, not just in the activities, but also within your emotions too, right? So emotional imbalances can potentially also throw you off during Capricorn season. As I split the deck here. We've got the Five of Swords. So, you know, being very up in your head about things, having a lot of, you know, conflicting thoughts, all right? So the internal conflict about should I, shouldn't I? So again, you know, what did we say in the beginning here? We said set up clear goals, okay? So if you're already clear about what it is that you're doing, there shouldn't be this need for confusion, all right? So that's one way that you can eliminate any kind of confusion or mental conflict that you're having with what it is that you're doing there, okay? But this is going to require you to, again, maintain that balance. And for some of you guys, it means implementing like time structured schedules so that you get your rest time, your, you know, your play time and your work time all like balanced out. All right. It's going to be, especially for those of you guys that do work for yourself, right? For those of you guys that don't have the option, the choice, and you work for somebody else, obviously you work when you work. Try to, again, when it's your free time and nobody else is dictating to you what you can and can't do, that's where you obviously will have to take control of how you balance things out. But for those of you guys that, you know, work for yourselves, you've got complete and total control over your complete 24-hour period. So you guys have got the ability to really work out what works well for you, okay? So yeah, for some of you guys, like the inability to kind of balance those things out could be a bit of a challenge. Again, being up in your head, maybe staying up too late at night, stressed out, unable to sleep, things like that are going to have an impact on this period for you, right? So let's have a look. Let's go with my oracle deck over here, Spirit. I mean, Spirit's like, I think we've given pretty good advice already as to, you know, potential ways we can do that. But yeah, there's definitely the challenge here being balance. Okay, so it's gonna, like I said, be really, really important that you find the balance of how and where to distribute your energy so that you can make sure that you're achieving what you need to and also getting everything you need. So yeah, for some of you guys as well, it could just be as well, listen to what, you know, try and listen to what your soul, right, is telling you. Okay, learn to recognize when your higher self is asking you to take a step back and have a break, and when you need to move forward and take action, right? So you know, don't force it if you don't have to. Don't, and especially if it's creative, guys, right? Creative stuff, content, spirituality, things like that. Certain things can't be forced, right? There are certain areas or certain things that just cannot be forced. They have to go with the natural flow of things. So for those of you guys that are, you know, creative artists, things of that nature, where, you know, you have to be a bit more adaptable to the flow of energy, that's fine. This is not about, you know, but with potentially, you know, you can maybe block out time for like, no, this is when I have to relax, or this is when I have to do this. And sure, you can be flexible within that, but still make sure that within all the flexibility, you're still maintaining balance within all the areas of your life, again, so you can get the best. Okay. So with the enthalpy card, right, this is all about feeling into the energy and making a decision as to what appeals and what doesn't, and then acting accordingly. So, you know, again, audit, right? It's about taking almost taking inventory right at the moment. So yeah, have a look at what it is that's going on currently. You know, do a little bit of sussing out, right? Spend the day, you know, reflecting back on what hasn't worked, what you need to do, and how you're going to get there. Okay, but if it doesn't appeal, doesn't fit what it is that you're trying to achieve, then, you know, it needs to be axed or adjusted. This is a time for expanding your experiences, right? We've got wealth, travel, communication. So again, you know, the more you're putting in, the more you're going to get out. So there is, again, an opportunity here for your finances to expand. For some of you guys, it's also about releasing the fear to release things, like releasing the fear to releasing the fear of what do I want to say, like, if you've got like creative endeavors, or like you're creating things or whatever it is, just putting it out there, right? So having no fear about putting things out there, especially for those of you guys that have businesses or building things, you've got products, that sort of nature. So time to test the waters, right? Throw in a line and see what bites. And you guys might be just surprised what it is that you catch here, right? all in all, Leo, I think, again, the balance for Leo is probably going to be the biggest challenge here. So, get creative with how you can, create a safety net for yourself throughout Cappy season, and see how you go. All right, see how you go. No one's going to be getting, put into, spiritual prison or anything for not, doing a schedule. This isn't like a oh so serious, right, conversation that we're having. This is just if you want to make the most out of this season, well, this is what Spirit is suggesting. All right, let's get through now your sixth house. So we're gonna have a look at what needs addressing when it comes to your sixth house. So this is your again, health, job, and daily routine. So what you're doing on the day-to-day basis. I feel like, again, we're probably going to be talking about issues. Ooh, issuing, right? I was about to say issuing, right? So something issuing what? Spirit's issuing us a warning. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. All right, let's have a look. So we've got practical wisdom here. So, it could be time to, or there could be a need to address whether the way that you're going about certain things is actually practical. Okay, is it working? And again, like it's what are you trying to achieve, and how does that all kind of fit into this whole process, right? So for some of you guys, there's a lot of or too much overthinking that needs to be shifted. So we've got the sadness card, which also talks about the overthinking, which creates confusion. So again, if you are listening to the beginning of the message and understanding that we need to, again, be clear about what goals we're trying to achieve, right? Be clear about the goals you're setting, then there shouldn't be the confusion, okay? It should be very, very clear what it is that you need to do, what steps you need to take to get there, because, of course, you're going to be smart enough, Leo, to not only just write down what the goals are, but you're also going to write the steps and the stages, because you're going to break those tasks down, remember, into smaller achievable tasks so you can get that done. So there's going to be no overthinking here, Leo, is there? No, because of course we're already going to be making the changes, but before we even roll into having this issue. Am I right, Leo? Of course we are. Of course we are. Leos are just, very, very well behaved all the time, right? So, it's also some of you guys, it's time to really get creative when it comes to solutions. Also, a little bit of, acceptance for potentially, solutions that you don't want to be utilized. All right. So, sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. But doesn't mean it's not a solution. Just because it's a solution, blah, 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 blah. Just because it's a solution you don't like, Leo, doesn't mean it's not a solution. So try to, again, remove the emotions out of it. Remember, Capricorn energy is all about practicality. So, this isn't about getting all emotional over this shit. It's about discipline, right? It's about discipline and practicality. So, if you see yourself getting all emotional about some shit, like, oh, I don't want to have to do X, Y, Z. Well, you're going to have to just snap the fuck out of it and whoop your own ass in that moment and go, no, we're doing what is practical, what is necessary in order to create the changes and to build what it is that we want, right? So there could be some things that feel almost like sacrifice, right? You're sacrificing your happiness for your happiness. You get what I'm saying? So try to look at it as a positive challenge, not a negative thing that's out of your control, because what's in your control is to discipline yourself and control your mind and the way that you take action, right? So it's going to be really, really important for some people to, again, be real with yourself and whoop your own ass. Well, this should be actually a very good time for you, Joanne, if you utilize it and don't look at it as a negative thing, right? The second that you start to put a negative spin on it, it's not going to feel like the magic that it should, right? Because again, we're talking about the opportunity with an energy that's being presented to us to get to a new level of self-discipline here, right? But if we're looking at that in a somewhat or like the kind of energy, then it's probably going to feel like that, It is busy, and it's good though, right? Because again, it's getting people like moving and motivated and stuff like that. So yeah, be open to solutions that might not necessarily be what you want, but that will get you to the place that you need to be. All right, we can't always get what we want. Okay. Some of you guys as well, it's time to recognize, address the make friends with the energy, like Mystical said, right? People say you don't make friends with salad. I say bullshit. You absolutely can make friends with salad. It's just I've never seen a vegetable that can speak, right? Anyway, for some of you guys as well, it's about really recognizing that it's within your power, okay? There's so much within your power that a lot of people forget about or don't acknowledge or refuse to see or just can't seem to understand that you're not utilizing, right? So being a victim to life forever can really, really suck. But when you recognize that, say for instance, with the Infinite Solutions card, and us talking about having to do things that you might not necessarily like, but you have to do, that is your power, right? That's recognizing that, okay, this is what's available to me, and I get to go this way or this way. I mean, sure, you can sit and do completely nothing, but that's not going to get you any closer to your goals. So it's better to choose something that's being presented as a solution, Leo, than to just throw your hands up and go, nah, it's not what I want, because you're not going to get any closer to those goals than you'd like. All right. So again, changes as well potentially going to be needed. Changes are potentially going to be are going to need to be made. Oh my God, why can't I speak English though? Changes are going to need to be made, again, in order to get to the next level. And for some of you guys, again, it's going to be particularly in your 10th house, particularly in your second house, particularly in certain areas. For some of you guys, it could be across the whole board, but the whole general basis of the energy is, whooping your own ass. Okay. So it's like, it's like telling Leo here, it's like giving Leo a clipboard and saying, here, go rule the world, but there's already a whole set of instructions and spreadsheets and statistics already on the clipboard, So it's like, yes, go rule the world, Leo, but within the constructs of this, right? So yeah, it's fun times, baby. It's fun times. But that's what's probably going to be impacting a lot of you guys for, like I said, your sixth house is needing to, again, just be open to the change and not necessarily doing things the way that you've done them before. I mean, let's face it, Leo, if you've been doing shit for a certain way, or you've been doing shit a certain way and it hasn't been working, well, let me fucking tell you, it's not about to start working just because it's Capricorn season. So you might as well put your big boy, big girl fucking Leo pants on, right? And get it done, right? Just get it done. Once we're into fucking Aquarius season, right? Like, we don't have to worry about all this. No, I'm just joking. But you will have implemented these skills, right, for long enough that they will become repeat 11 on the clock. All right. Again, this is going to bring in a lot of stability for you guys if you put in the work. So yeah, obviously, the way you're going to navigate the sixth house, if you guys are having those issues with things like that, is to whoop your ass, right? You're going to have to be keeping yourself accountable, okay? Write things down, set alarms, don't use excuses, right? This isn't about making excuses. This is about making waves in your own life, right? Making your dreams come true, making your life what it is that you want it to be. So, yeah, it's not here to make your life hard, but some of you guys might feel that way. All right, for 10th house, career, public image and legacy, or as I said earlier, public legacy. Public legacy. Well, look, for some of you guys, your legacy might end up being one that is publicly recognized and publicly seen. Depends on what you're doing for your career, right? Depends on how you're building your legacy. Depends on what your public image is. I mean, for some of you guys, your public image could be as little and as brief as a few apps that you very rarely post on, right? But that's your public image. All right, let's have a little look-see. Spirit, which way would you like me to go? I want a bigger deck. Do you know what I just said to myself? With all the freaking tarot decks that I've got. I'm like, oh, I need like another one, like one that's just like, how many more decks do I need, right? Like I've got one for every mood, one for every occasion, one for every style. See, now I'm tossing up. Now we're going to go, you know what? Yeah, no, we're going to go, I'm going to go with the Light Seers. I know, like, some people don't like the Light Seers tarot deck or feel like it's overrated or, actually, no. You know what? I'm going to use the Urban. I just wanted to, I don't know, I wanted to use a big deck, but some big deck energy. You know, I wanted some big deck energy out here. Some big deck energy. That's what I wanted. Oh, shit. Oh. I'm just noticing again as well, guys. Remember, I always channel the energy. I work with the energy of what's going on. You know, just noticing how I'm being really, you know, methodical here and making sure I packed up the cards that I've already used. You know, moving aside, making sure there's not too much clutter out here on the table so that things can flow nicely. So, you know, that could be something as well that's relevant to your 10th house, you know, just, you know, making sure we're doing things like properly, right? Doing things in a structured manner that have the ability to have longevity, right? So again, structure. I know, Leo, it feels very restrictive, right? And look, the fact that you guys are fixed signs right now could, again, it's going to be challenging because you're already so fixed, but once you kind of, like I said, implement this shit and it's like second nature to you, you know what's going to happen? That work ethic, the way of doing things, that's going to be fixed, right? That's going to be ingrained into your, you know, your little Leo way of doing things. So, you know, it's just about changing the fixed behavior into more positive fixed behavior that actually benefits you guys over the long term, as opposed to, you know, being fixed and stubborn in ways of doing things that actually just fucks you up and gets you nowhere, right? So that's what it's about. It's just about changing up the kind of skills that are fixed within us, right? That's what it's about. Alrighty. Now, I did say at the beginning as well, like something about collaboration. So, yeah, there could be, you know, work, career collaborations, partnerships as well, forming like business partnerships. Again, just be open to things coming in for you and, you know, but make sure, again, that you're thoroughly looking over what it is that, you know, you're signing up for. Don't go rushing into anything. Again, Capricorn is it's a grounded energy, it's an earth energy. This isn't, you know, about being flighty and rushing, and, you know, it's, again, practicality. So practicality also requires, you know, taking time to think about things, think things through, really looking at all the different elements to make sure that what you're signing up for is what you want, right? Because if it isn't, then you're going to be like, you're going to be fucking hating on spirit and shit, right, after you get to the end of it. But it's up to you, right? And also, Leo, you know, be mindful, not all opportunities are opportunities you should take, okay? And that's the whole point, and that's why you're meant to look at what these are, right, and not rush into things, okay? But once you make the decision, then get disciplined, get focused, and get it done. All right, let's have a look. 10th house. So we're going to have a look at what's coming in for you, Leo, for some of you Leos in your 10th house. Okay, so there could be something here. We've got Knight of Cups, the Four of Cups in reverse, and the Ace of Swords in the upright. So there could be something here to do, again, an opportunity here. I don't know if someone as well, I want to say something that's something that maybe for some of you guys we did talk about within your second house, right? Obviously, your career is tied to your money, and you know, there's a reason why we did the 2nd, 6th, and 10th also. We're doing earth energies, but they're all obviously tied to your 3D realm, right? So they're all going to be intertwined together. So again, you know, cross over the messages from each of those bits and, you know, put it all together like a little jigsaw puzzle to get your messages, basically. But yeah, there could be something for some of you guys that either it was an idea from the past or something from the past as well that could be coming back around. Okay, so it could be, all of a sudden maybe now you're finally ready to do what that is. But yeah, it definitely looks like I said, there's an opportunity or something coming up. It's gonna be something that's like get you feeling happy. Okay, but again, be very clear about what it is that you're wanting to do here. So with the Chariot in reverse, like just make sure like you're like put the brakes on, right? Like when these things come in, right? If these things come in, if these opportunities. So for some of you guys, again, it'll be something from the past. It could be a partnership, a collaboration. For some of you guys, it could be like new contracts. For those of you guys that have businesses, right? You could be getting new contracts, new clients. And for some of you guys, it could be new promotions that you're getting. But again, if these things do come up for you guys, because again, not all of you guys are going to be on that timeline where this is going to happen for you guys, because you're not at the vibrational frequency for this stuff to happen. It's not saying that again, I'm never saying to you, Leo, that you can't get there. I just don't want people coming onto my channel, tripping shit, thinking they're all going to fucking have like public fucking images, like, and fucking careers in the public and fucking legacy, right? But you work at fucking McDonald's and you haven't healed your fucking issues. You get what I'm saying? So I like to just try and keep it in perspective to where you're actually at. So, if you're not at that level, it's not that you can't get there. You just probably need to go back over all the past Leo videos and work through the steps to get there. Don't you love when people project their energy onto the stream? All right, so yeah, Leo, it's again, when whatever this comes in, it could be communication from somebody else. This could also just be an idea, right? Like you going, you know what? I remember like this idea that I had that I really wanted to do, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Now I think I can do it, right? This new outlook that you're gonna get, no longer taking, so I want to say taking yourself off the map. So for some of you guys, you could have taken yourself off the map when it comes to certain positions or certain ideas, right? Thinking that maybe you couldn't, and maybe at the time it's not that you couldn't, it's just that you hadn't worked through the things that you needed to in order to be at that level to be able to do this and fulfill this the way that you want to. So it could be, again, that you're having some new ideas that are coming through with the Ace of Swords, bit of a breakthrough kind of moment, which you're like, okay, let me slow down now and let's have a look at what or how we're going to do this. Knight of Cups. So it does look like whatever, is going to be coming in for you guys, it's definitely a part of what you've been hoping for, okay? Hopes, dreams, wishes. For somebody here as well, with the moon sitting on the bottom of the deck, right? The moon, the emperor. There's somebody here, you've been manifesting something. Somebody's got a level up, like a significant level up here. So I don't know whether maybe you're going to be getting a massive promotion, right? But with the moon coming out, the emperor and the page of pentacles, right? There's the energy of, like, you might not even see certain things coming, like certain things or certain opportunities could actually a surprise, and things could go I want to say for somebody from one extreme to another, okay, in the way like with life, right? So it could just be that from one day to the next, like all of a sudden you're earning this much, and then you're like, what the fuck? You go from knight energy to fucking emperor energy overnight, right? So but I want to say for energies like that, or people that get that sort of stuff, it's because I'm telling you, they've been putting the fucking work in. You can only get those kind of manifestations one way, and it's not by not putting the work in. So for somebody, yeah, it's like you won't even see it coming, okay? You could also be a little bit worried though about something as well for some of you guys, especially for those of you that are, bosses, directors, CEOs, business owners, just make sure as well that you're working through any fears and limitations when it comes to what you're manifesting. But there is definitely something for somebody here where it's like you're not going to see something coming, right? Like it's gonna catch you by surprise, I want to say like a good surprise, okay? Like a good surprise. Yeah, it's going to lead you to Ten of Wands, right? Carrying a lot more responsibility, but there's rewards that are available here to all of you Leos. with taking on that responsibility, right? Responsibility equals rewards when it comes to our careers, especially if, you're getting your worth. Now, if you're not seeking your worth, you're not getting paid your worth, then you should probably really be assessing whether the responsibility that you're carrying is actually worth it for what you're getting. But it is going to be, there's going to be a lot more on your plate out here. Okay, a lot more to do. You're going to be a lot busier. All right, what do we need to, what could be some potential challenges here for Leo? Obviously, we talked about fears when it comes to, okay, so for some of you guys, Eight of Cups in reverse, it could be maybe not leaving where you're currently at, or, leaving behind certain ideas, certain emotional ideas when it comes to your career. I can't do this, I can't do that, blah, 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 right? So, again, limitations. Okay, not leaving things behind that you should to step into new opportunities is going to potentially be a challenge here for you guys. Okay, with the Knight of Swords coming out in reverse, impulsive decisions potentially could be a bit of a challenge as well. So jumping into things without thinking, without really looking at the practicality of how they're going to work, how they fit into your life, and whether or not it's actually what you want. That could be a potential challenge for some of you guys. Six of Pentacles in the reverse, not getting what you're worth, right? So not getting your worth. So that could be some of the challenges, or the blockages there as well. So don't take positions or don't take offers where they're not giving back what they should be. Right? That's telling the universe, that's you telling spirit and the universe, you know what, I'm okay with being devalued or working harder than I should for what I'm getting. All right, so we don't want to be telling the universe shit like that, do we, Leo? Again, we want to make sure that with strength here, we're being confident, we're being wise, all that wonderful shit, right? And standing up for what we deserve, right? Standing up for ourselves in what we deserve. All right, we're going to look at your 5th and 7th house now, my Leos, right? Your romance and your partnerships, right? We are talking about romantic partnerships, marriages, that's the nature. So we're going to have a look at two things. We're going to go for two different ways. So those of you guys that are in a relationship, we're going to have a look at what's potentially coming up in your relationship. And we're going to have a look at for my singles, bilinguals, and ready to mingles. Okay, we'll do that after. I need a sip of iced tea. All right, let's get these cards shuffled up. Going for the Archangel Power Tarot for these ones. Universe knows the formula. Minimum work, maximum pay. That's it, right? Sometimes it's true, though. You don't have to work so hard. It's just about working smarter. And working smarter is, being organized, okay? Making sure that you're not wasting time or wasting resources or having your time wasted. Definitely important. But there are times when, yes, hard work is essential, necessary, but it still pays off, right? Even when you work hard on yourself, the maximum pay that you get is elevation, right? So there's always reward for it. As long as you are, like I said, maintaining boundaries, you make sure that you are honoring your value and your self-worth throughout anything that you do that you work on, then you're never going to have a problem of not being paid what it should be paying you, whether that's energy, experience, lessons, money, whatever it's going to give you on the other side, right? As long as it's in balance, then you're all good in the hood. All right, Leo, for those of you guys that are in a relationship, we'll have a look at what's going to be coming up potentially for you guys in your current relationship. Okay. So looks like we've got the Empress out here and the Moon's out here. Gonna get a bit more. Let's get a bit more. Let's get a bit more. Spirit's like, get a bit more. And straight off that Six of Michaels come out, but like straight off the bat, like the energy that I'm kind of just feeling is, I'm getting the energy of Capricorn season for some of you guys could be a little bit of, I'm not going to say, I'm going to say maybe not as passionate or as, connected as it usually is. For some of you guys, it could be more about the energy of self-care, like balancing your own stuff out and getting really disciplined with that. So I'm just getting this energy of like the Empress, the Moon, the Six of Michael, and the Queen of Raphael came out. So I'm just getting very like a very feminine, self-nurturing kind of energy off of these cards. Okay, so it's like a sigh of relief for making new plans, right? It's like a new way of doing something. But again, I just get this energy of like it's an opportunity to improve the way you're going about certain things within your relationship as well. And it for some of you guys, it's going to be about potentially giving more to yourself as well. So, looking at how we can best nurture ourselves. Okay. Listen to your intuition as well as to what you need in this time if you're in a relationship, and encourage your partner to do the same, right? So, encourage your partner to take time out to audit, their own position as well, and maybe do that together. Okay, so there could be like a little bit of maybe guilt and things like that could potentially come up, or somebody could be feeling guilty. There could be, needs to, get practical here and have a conversation, right? Have that communication, that open and honest communication if you need to, in order to, bring balance, harmony, peace into the dynamic. So, like if you're feeling a little bit pressed and you're sort of very focused on this, having that conversation about where you're at, opening up in that sense, right? And just, letting the other person know kind of where you're at, rather than just sitting in a space of guilt that, you're. And this is the other thing, right, Leo? Don't feel guilty as well, like for needing to spend time focusing on yourself. But, communicate that, so if you're feeling guilty about, needing time, discuss that, have that conversation with your person, and then encourage them, and both of you do the same thing, right? Take some time to nourish and nurture yourselves and get yourselves really grounded in a good routine, right? So that, things can work better. But, it's, like I said, it's, Capricorn season is not here to flirt with you, Leo. Capricorn season is walking in with the fucking prenup while you're still in your, just wanting to get freaking tousled fucking bed hair and, lazy Sunday sloppy sexual sessions, whatever, right? Like you're in that zone, and Capricorn's in like prenup energy, right? So again, don't feel don't take it personally if your partner is kind of in a more grounded, practical energy, but also don't feel guilty that you need to be a bit more practical in how you balance things out and go work on your own stuff. All right, so it's going to bring about like again refreshing, renewal kind of energies as well into your existing connections. All right. Compassionate review of the past, looking at what hasn't worked in the past as well, and what can be struggling. And look, maybe as well, like, for some of you guys, if you don't get enough time or quality time with your partner, it could be that, there isn't enough. And again, Capricorn energy loves, and I was not saying that you guys are with a Capricorn, but Capricorn energy, it would love a calendar with all the dates scheduled where they need to be present in your life, right? Just again, because it's that organized. So, maybe even thinking about organizing a particular date night once a month and then committing to that, putting that on the calendar together could be a good idea. But in general, like, it's just again about that balance, right? Maintaining that balance, especially, like I said, within what's currently going on. All right. That's what I've got. That's what we got for you guys, for Leos in relationships, and what you might need to look at, focus on, and what could be challenging you or coming up for Cappy season. All right, now we're going to look at what's coming in for my singles, bilinguals, and ready to mingles. Let me just... I don't want this deck. I want to change decks. I'll go with the light seers. Now we'll go with the light seers. I got my new chair, but like I got a new chair. So I don't know if you guys have been, listening to me talking about my bloody chair. I finally got a new chair. So like like it's just so much more comfortable to like be able to have the table lower, especially like for shuffling. It's always like weird always having like your arms up higher, right? So got my new chair this morning. It was actually supposed to come tomorrow. Got delivered a day early. So I was pretty excited about that. And I can spin on it, and it's a swivel chair, and it's got wheels, and it's really freaking comfortable, and nice wide seat, for my fat ass. I don't have a big booty, but yeah, no, it's fucking awesome. It's awesome, and the fact that it was delivered a day early was like, yay, yay, good stuff. All right, my singles, bilinguals, ready to mingles. All right, let's have a look. What's coming in for my single Leos when it comes to romance and partnership? Oh-ish. Oh-ish, Leo. Oh-ish. Oh. We got this energy of like, oh, gosh. Death in the reverse, right? It's like somebody wants to bring something from the dead back to life. No, somebody here doesn't. There could be someone here, maybe that you haven't quite let go of yet, Leo. There could be somebody that hasn't quite let go of you yet. Let's just, Spirit. Can we do? What you want to do with those? We're just throwing those down over there. That's what we're doing with that. You know what? This Seven of Swords, we're just going to throw that over there too right now. Yeah. Leo's like, Leo, man, like you already know, right? You already know where the past be at, don't you? You're like, I know where the past be at. What I want to know is where my future at, right? Now, for some of you guys, you can feel, right, something new kind of coming towards you. And again, it's going to, the time frame of when it happens is going to be dependent, right? Two of Swords there, like, being intuitively led only, you can't see what's coming, but you can feel it, and you know by the energy of where you're at as to whether, well, no, you don't, right? I gotta say, some of you Leos probably be tripping out there, and I love you Leos, but some of you guys be tripping out there thinking that you're at a stage where you're not at, and then wondering why, the things that come out in certain reads that people do don't actually take place for you guys, right? And again, not that you can't get there, it's just that you're not there yet, right? So, yeah, we're not worried about the past over there, so we're just gonna throw that out on the floor, right? We're just throwing it behind us, right? Putting the past behind us. So, yeah, some of you guys, it's like you're wondering maybe when something's gonna come in. If you're sitting there wondering, waiting, right? All of that shit. Well, it's probably gonna take even longer to come in. Okay, focus on yourself in the meantime while you are waiting, right? You're not waiting for anything. You're existing, you're living, you're breathing, you're doing, right? You're doing you. So, again, we can't manifest divine unions, good partnerships in a space of desperation. You will manifest bullshit instead, right? So don't be manifesting yourself bullshit out there, Leo. Okay. All right, what's coming in for Spirit's like, yeah, look, it's I was about to say Spirit's like, yeah, nah, just just chill out, Leo, on the what's coming in new love reads, right? It's gonna come in when it comes in, okay? Just again, spend that time, right? At the moment it's about her, you just solo and solo and still fucking going. But there's some other things that you might want to still reflect upon, right? From 2025 before 2026 rolls over. I mean, let's just say now would be a very, very interesting time of year to start dating somebody. Like, everyone's too busy anyway. So, just stop wondering right now. Just focus on Capricorn season, on the more practical elements of life, right? Before you worry about the love stuff, right? So there's going to be a time and place for it. But for some of you guys, it's look, it's not quite ready to come in yet, right? So there's a little bit of delays going on here when it comes to the singles, bilinguals, and ready to mingles, especially those of you who are calling in high level divine unions, commitments, and stuff like that. Like, that's what you've been, it's just like you've been getting yourself into a better space, all right? And it is coming. For some of you guys, you could have options and things like that are coming up, or like different options, right? When it comes to people, and even for those of you that are calling in divine union, like there could be options for different people. Doesn't mean they're all obviously going to be who you choose or a choice. But, it's like, Spirit, thanks for laughing at me. Now I just wrote it down like anything. Like, you couldn't have told me last night that was just going to be irrelevant. Like, you know what I mean? We're just going to sit here and give Leo a read. Like, hey, Leo, guess what? Spirit's like, just chill the fuck out with your love reads, right? Chill the fuck out with your love reads, okay? Things will start picking up, right? There will be like that Ace of Swords moment, that breakthrough moment where things start like moving forward, all right? But like right now, couldn't think of a more insane time to start like dating a person or like connecting with a person with like all the busy shit going on, the energy going on. Like, just give it till next year, Leo, right? Like, just hang in there, okay? You know, like it's just that the passionate part, it's just not ready yet, okay? It's just not ready yet. So just wait. Anything else that my singles, bilinguals, ready to mingles need to see? Yeah, just, Spirit's like, you know what, just there's still a little bit of climbing that we've got to do. There's still a little bit of, knowledge that they want to bestow upon you throughout this period, Leo, which hopefully will really help you, right? So, because for some of you guys, whatever this higher knowledge is, whatever this spiritual wisdom here that the Hierophant wants to give you is going to help you to get out of your head with some shit too. Okay, because somebody could be, like I said, very, very in their head about love and shit like that, always feeling like they've been abandoned and shit. And let me tell you that, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to manifest. You're not going to have success in manifesting this into the physical realm. So, get through the time, work through the different levels, the different layers. Okay, you guys, I'm going to say for some of you guys, yes, you will be meeting, right, particular energies when the time is right. Spirit said to me, like we said the other day, doesn't matter what fucking sign they are. It doesn't matter. Like, it just focus on you right now, right? The whole energy, Capricorn energy, is not about love and flirtatious energy. It's about ass whoopings. I mean, Saturn, right? We're talking about Saturn energy. We're talking about ass whooping Saturn fucking energy. Okay, so the only thing that you really should be focused on right now is your responsibilities, disciplining yourself and being committed to that, not to, again, all right? So once all of that's in balance, okay, once you've got all that shit in balance, baby, there comes your lover's connection, right? That's what will happen is once you've balanced all that shit out, that's where you've had, again, the growth that you need to. That is when your ship starts sailing in, not any time before that, okay? So right now, Spirit's like, handle your business, Leo, okay? Handle your business. Because again, you got issues with this, that. I'm telling you right now, divine unions aren't fucking coming in for those of you that haven't stepped out of your comfort zone, haven't done the work, haven't built up with your goals and dreams, haven't stepped in, again, be mindful of what you're actually doing, what you're putting out as to what's coming back for you. Okay, and try not to get so caught up in these reads, right? Thinking everything's for you, especially if you're not really doing the work, okay? And I want to say that, get real with yourself, Leo. Are you really doing the work, or are we just saying it, okay? Because now's the time to whoop your own fucking ass and be real with yourself, Discipline yourself, all right? Unless you want me to, get out there and just start, smacking people and put them in the naughty corner, right? Until you guys off. But, keep yourself accountable. That's what it is. You guys are fucking grown adults and you should be able to keep yourselves accountable. Should be able to, right? And again, there are tools, right? I don't want to hear any, but I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't. You can't because you say you can't, right? Unless it's absolute, I can't, then you fucking can. You just find it difficult, right? That's the difference. And that's okay. We all find certain things difficult. I find fucking technology retardedly difficult, right? Exceptionally difficult for somebody who uses it every fucking day in multiple different ways. I find it exceptionally difficult. So, I need to stop making excuses as to, but I can't do that and I can't do this. No, I need to work out then how I can do it, right? It's simple. If it needs to get done, I just need to work out how I can do it. No excuses, all right? So, all right, let's get you a couple of oracle cards to close off this message. for my Leo babies, and then I'm going to go make the kidlets. I'm going to pop back inside, make the kidlets some lunch. So I've got that, and then we will get into our little mini reads and shit chat session and whatever else we decide to do out here, OGs and homies. Put yourself in the naughty. Put yourself in the naughty corner. That word don't come. Which word doesn't come into your vocabulary? Laurie Unleashed, we're not doing I'm not doing personal reads in here at the moment. If you want to, you can join my next live stream, but yeah, I'm not doing personal reads in here. Word, I hate technology. I know. See, DR, like you and me, like twinning like that, right? Like this one, like, can't, like, he doesn't even know DR doesn't even know how to reply to a voice chat. So he sent me an email. He's so old school. I'm surprised you didn't fucking send me a letter, dude. You know what? I'll send you my address. You can write me. You can be my pen pal. You can be my pen pal. We'll go full old spec. In fact, we'll get feather pens and like ink. You know what I'm saying, homie? Let's go full old school, like Victorian style. You managed to get to work? Well, that's good. You managed to? You've managed to? What time did you work? Time are you working from? What do you it's none of my business. What do you do for work? None of my business. Isn't it like them? Didn't you say it was like the middle of the morning? I know, right? Like, I know. Like back in the day when they'd have to wait months on end just to hear back from their lovers. 11:44 p.m. on my clock. PM? It's AM. What am I talking about? It's AM. All right, Leo, let's close out this message with a couple of oracle cards here for my beautiful Leos. All right, we've got wavelengths here. So, there could be, making sure, I want to say like this, making sure that, you and the people around you, you're on the same page as the people around you is definitely going to help as well. Okay, so, making sure, again, not just pushing yourself to go and discipline, but also making sure that we're remembering to pour into ourselves, that we are, also prioritizing our self-care. It's important, right? Otherwise, you're going to get burnout. You won't be able to go the distance. Infinite being with infinite potential to create. Okay, so it's about you needing to nurture what it is that you're wanting to build. That should also include yourself. Okay, if you're wanting to build a business, well, you are the business is you. Okay, so it's not just about nurturing the business, it's also about nurturing you. You are the business, right? So again, balance is gonna be key. Okay, for some of you guys as well, gratitude, a bit of gratitude practice would definitely help here. Help you to also recognize the abundances and the wonderful things that you've already got. Okay, and be mindful, right, of either being in competition with others or being competitive when it comes to others, or envious of others, or that towards you. 1221, yeah, one is not like the other. So, just be careful as well. People who don't celebrate your wins, right? So people aren't, around you that aren't happy for you, happy to see you succeed. Again, remember we discussed the other day, there's sort of like, duality even in jealousy. There's the kind of jealousy where it's like they wish they just had it for themselves, right? Like envy like that. But, like full-blown fucking jealousy, like, is like, why did you get it? I should have that, you shouldn't, right? Like very competitive type energy. So, if people aren't celebrating your wins, aren't happy for you, either don't share your wins with them, or it's time to have them vacate the premises. But also, if you're finding yourself getting envious towards other people's success, then you really need to look at why you feel that way. Okay, because nothing's impossible with, again, discipline, structure, routine, dedication. There's a lot that can be achieved that you want. Yes, within reason, but don't just straight up, oh, I can't do that, so I'm going to be jealous of this bitch over here, right? Like, it's, certain people have to work pretty hard for what they've got, and it's nice when you can be happy for the people around you when they succeed. Right, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice to be nice. Okay, Stand for something, even if it means standing alone. Okay. Stay dedicated to your integrity as always, Leo. Right. But yeah, it could just mean right now that you know, you're gonna have to stand up for yourself, stand alone, right? Because it's something that you believe in, right? But you know, a little bit of sacrifice going to need to be made here with different things for, you know, different Leos and the different things you're going to struggle with. Anyway, Leo, good luck with your Capricorn season. I hope everything goes well. I hope you guys are able to, you know, make some really positive shifts that, again, are going to become a part of, you know, your permanent, like, range of, you know, weapons or tools that you use to handle life, so that, again, it's making things up in the future easier to navigate as well when they come up. So best of luck, my beautiful Leos. If you guys would like to join in on the next live, probably be a little bit later than it's set for 12 minutes in 12 minutes time, so but it might take me a little bit longer to just get the kids sorted and come back out. But join us in the next live if you would like to jump in for a quick little mini personal, if you've got any questions. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great day. Take care. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.